Well, hello everyone. Thank you for coming here. We're here to talk about Midlife Health Booster, and we're especially guiding you guys through midlife, and we're trying to give you health tips and different habits that will benefit you to have a great longevity. So let's start with who am I? So my name is Lina Franco. I work with Renewy. But first of all, I arrived to Arizona because I went to study to ASU, as you can see in there. And I went for a really long period that was so difficult to move from Colombia to US, and then I experienced a lot of loneliness. And because that actually started to affect my physical health, I started to dig more into the functional medicine, and then I decided to become a functional medicine coach. And this is why we're here. And then with a few associates, we decided that we wanted to work on different things. And with my experience and being at ASU and experiencing loneliness, we decided to create Renewy, which works mainly for people that is restoring their health life as well as feeling a little bit lonely. So if you experience any of these, we're gonna talk a little bit more at the end of this presentation, but I hope you enjoy it. So let's set up some ground rules. First of all, we're all here for a reason. We want to know a little bit more, or we're just curious, or we just want to know what is this about and so on. So this means that all reasons are valid, and therefore all the questions that you can make are valid. So if you have any questions that I didn't answer for this recording, just please put it in the comments. You will see that I will respond as soon as I can. So just ask. And of course, this is a judgment-free zone. Like we said, we're all here for a reason. We're not here to criticize anything. And we can be at different stages in life in our health journey. So we just want to know that, it doesn't matter what stage you're at, we are here for you. We're here to accompany you. And hopefully we can give you some health tips and, walk with you through the whole journey. And finally, another thing is that nobody is the same as the other. So the things that actually work for your neighbor, for your spouse, for anything that is around you, doesn't mean that it has to work with you. And the same thing applies for these things that we're going to give today in here. But if you want something more personalized, just please contact us directly or go to your physician and therefore obtain something more personalized to you and according to your health. So first of all, I want you that if you leave a comment, please do tell us, please, what made you coming to here today? Why are you listening to this recording here and watching our video? And hopefully the answer will be pretty similar to ours. It's just to share, to find a community, to understand a little bit more about what can help your health throughout the way. But if you have different things, just leave it in the comments. This will give us more feedback into what can we give you further along in our journey and to share more information with you. So hopefully this will guide you into, I'm in my midlife, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, maybe even your 60s. And then you feel that your health is a little bit more funkier, it's more delicate, or you have no idea where to start because you have to change your habits. This is why we need to start here. And this is why we created this meetup. So we're going to start today with what is wellness and what is the overall health and well-being. So wellness is it has different aspects, but it includes the physical aspect, the mental aspect, social, emotional, spiritual, and environmental. And here we only include 6 aspects. However, there's other definitions that actually will give you even 9. That includes the financial aspect, the economical, which we're not going to touch base in here. However, depending on what you want, you can actually touch base on that. And that actually will feed into how are you feeling with life, and that includes in your well-being and your health. So now that we know a little bit more about what includes the physical, so the physical part is what your body encompasses, your hormones, what happens with your head, with how you feel, the physical aspect in terms of exercise, mental meaning more about your thoughts, and how are you managing them. Social means more about how are you interacting with different people and more about the social part, like it says. Emotional is more how do you handle your emotions. And for this video exactly, we're gonna combine them emotional with the social, because as you will see, it has many things that are intricate between each other, so they can be combined. We also have the spiritual aspect, which we're not going to touch base in here, but please do strengthen that area, because that is the basic part for your finding your own purpose, which is kind of the drive for life. And if you start to lose on purpose, just start asking, why are you doing this? Why do you want to restart your health? And maybe we can even help you with that if you take our wellness program, which we were going to talk about it at the end of this video. And finally, it will be the environmental part, which includes anything in you. So this includes even like things like skincare, what are you putting on your body, anything about like your soap, or even like environmental things like toxins or things in the water, etc., which we will not cover in here. But you do know, and if not, we can talk about it in another video. So if you're interested, let us know. But this is as important as the other aspects that you can start doing by yourself. Once we know a little bit what is wellness in definition, I want you to start thinking about, how do you envision your optimal health? And in terms of envisioning, we are talking about not only your vision in terms of how your eyesight, we're talking about like, how do you dream your optimal health? So if it's a little bit difficult for you, like how do you think, oh, I just want to feel fine, I want you to go deep, and I want you to include things like how will be, for example, your perfect day. What time do you want to wake up? What do you want to eat to feel perfectly fine? How do you want to feel emotionally and physically? Who do you want to interact with? What do you want to do during the day? For example, if you like to work and then you just want to go to work, or if not, how do you want to achieve your financial freedom? You can include all of these little things within the vision that I want you to create for this, and this will really help you to understand what is your objective, your main goal, where do you want to walk to, and so on. And I want you to also include values and strengths. And what is a value? It could be honesty, loyalty, family, self-care, health. Anything that is important for you is a value in your life, and is a key core that makes you who you are. And with that, it will be nice to include as well some of your strengths, because with the strengths, you do know how to walk towards and how do you want to walk there. So for example, if you are accountable, that's a strength. If you are persistent, that's a strength. So all of that will help you, and you already have those tools under your belt to start walking towards that vision. And that vision doesn't have to be static. If you choose today to write, this is how my perfect day is, and it has these elements, you can change it, because you will be at a different stage in your health journey, and you can revise it every few months, and optimize it towards whatever you want to walk. And even if you want to change your objectives. So I highly recommend to you to write it. Just take a pen, stop this video, write it, really think about it, and include all these elements that I just talked about, because they will help you to understand where are you going. So we're gonna start with the physical part, and this is the one that we know the most of the time. If you know some ideas already, we're gonna try to understand and add some tips into this one. But if you have more tips different than the ones that we're presenting today, please add it to the comments. I'm pretty sure people is going to be happy to learn more about the different things. We all know have different aspects and have different experiences. So this is all enriching the community that we will be creating. So first of all, smoking. Please, if you're a smoker or you know someone that is a smoker, stop smoking. It sounds really obvious, but if you stop smoking by the age of 60, you can add like 3 to 4 years of your life. This is scientifically proven. And if you stop at 40, you can even add to 10 years of your life. So imagine what you can do with all the time, all the things that you can enjoy with your health and optimal health. So just start dreaming. Regarding your headphones, understand that the volume is critical towards like how much lost hearing you can add. So we know that hearing loss happens with age, and that's usually pretty common. However, if you do not control the volume at which you're listening with your headphones, that can actually be aggravated. The thing that I want you to emphasize in is that the hearing loss is actually connected to the higher risk of dementia. So it increases the risk of dementia into 53%. So I highly encourage you that just don't use the headphones if you don't need to. You can just, listen to music or not, but when you need to, just use in the proper amount of time, and that's it. Handbag or anyone like a backpack. So if you use a handbag or people that uses anything with just carries with one hand, I highly encourage to go back to your backpack. The reason why is because if you only carry it with one side instead of the two sides, what happens is that you can start having back problems and spine problems because it's only weighing on one side. So ladies, if you have a handbag, just check your weight, or having like a really lightweight. Men, if you also use like your gym bag, for example, one side, I really encourage you to check that you only carry whatever is necessary, or just use a proper backpack. Let's go with the cold showers. Cold showers, they're super popular right now, typical cold plunges, because we all have seen some of the benefits. If you don't know, some of the benefits are that they activate the parasympathetic system, which is the system that activates the relaxation in your body. And that is awesome because most of us are just stressed and do not know how to relax anymore, which is awesome. However, please be cautious. The reason why is because cold plunges can be actually having negative effects with people that has hypertension and asthma. So if you want to go to a cold plunge and you have any of these problems related to asthma or hypertension, just ask your doctor first, please. But if you want to start with some of these benefits, just start slow. For example, if you want to start with cold showers, that would be a nice place to start. You can add at the end of your shower like 30 seconds of really cold water that can start acting to it, and you can start adjusting into that before going into a really cold plunge. Poop. We don't want to talk about poop. Nobody wants to talk about poop, really. However, it can tell a lot about your digestion and the healthiness of your microbiome. And just for you to know, the microbiome are all the microorganisms that live in your small intestine, and they're supposed to live in there. However, they're good microorganisms and not so good, and they have to be in a balance. So the size and the consistency of your poop, once in a while, just please check it out, because that can tell a lot about how is your gut health. And the gut is highly connected with both your mental part, which I said it in a couple of videos on Instagram. If you do not follow us on Instagram, please do follow us. We share a couple of tips and healthy stuff throughout our videos. But in the gut, we create different neurotransmitters that are really important for us. For example, serotonin. Serotonin, if you don't know, is the neurotransmitter that actually makes you happy. So if your gut balance is actually imbalanced, therefore, you're not going to make the same amounts of serotonin, and you can start feeling anxiety and depression. So check it out. The bra. Did you guys know that 81% of women do not have the proper size of bra? And that changes with life. So if you're starting in your 30s around one size, please do check it back again when you're in your 40s, because we might change. Motherhood or breastfeeding can change it. And if you don't have the proper size bra, that can actually harm your ligaments and some parts, and even your back posture. So check it out if you don't know that. And finally, we just wanted to touch base on two different things which are really connected. One is strengthening our lift weighting. And the reason why lift weighting, even if you start with 2 pounds or 5 pounds, is so important is because it can help to create muscle. Muscle is really important because it can tell a lot about our health. It helps us to activate our detox part and for all the free radicals that we have. It helps us to protect our bones, and it helps us to, create more balance, so therefore have other things. However, if you're not there, if you have pain in your joints, you can start with some exercise that helps you to balance. For example, standing one foot, or another thing that you can try is like standing up from being seated from the floor without your hands. And, that can start helping your joints to feel better. balancing. Another thing that you can start doing, which is actually really helpful as well for your glucose levels in blood, meaning the insulin resistance and all these things that are related to diabetes type 2, is walk after meals. A small walk of 10 minutes can actually help a lot into having a smaller peak of insulin after you have eaten. So, small things can definitely change into a bigger thing. So this can be just small steps. Let's move forward into hormones. Hormones can be classified within the physical part because it's part of your body. And I understand that. However, because of the age, I created a separate thing because hormones change a lot around your 40s and 50s, both for men and women. And we'll touch base in a second. So let's just start with something that is not really hormone-wise, but is really affected to men. Please go and do the prostate exam. After your 40s or early 50s, you have to start checking it. You can even prevent cancer or anything related to inflammation around there. I know no one likes them, but please go and do it. It can be essential and can be critical in terms of you can prevent or diagnose early stages of cancer. So just go please and check it out. Ladies, did you know that because of the slower losing the amounts of estrogen that you have in your body, that can affect your gum health? So this is why I have in here a tooth with some gums, and the gums can be actually deteriorated more when you have low levels of estrogen. So just go more often to the dentist, check your gums, have a full cleanup system, and start checking your teeth. But in general terms, I just wanted to touch base into how the sex hormones are reducing their levels around their 40s and even in their 30s. So as you can see in men, this starts to decrease around their 30s, and then it goes down all the way up to the end of your life. And for women, the levels of estrogen are peaking around your 30s, but it starts to go down when you're 40s. And this is the time where you should be more aware of your perimenopause, which is the time of period that you have before you get your menopause, then your menopause, and then your postmenopause. So around this area, you need different type of nutrients, and even you can change your diet towards it for both men and women. So you could just go and check with your doctor. That can really help to improve the symptoms, or even sometimes increase a little bit more the levels of testosterone or estrogen in the case of each one. So you can make small changes in your nutrition and can have a really higher impact even on your sex hormones, but as well, for example, in your sexual life for having more libido or not. So just go and check it out. Moving on into our mental side. The mental side, we can have many more things, but we just wanted to touch base on 3 different things. And let's start with the easiest one. The easiest one is something that is really underrated, which is sleep. Sleep can determine different things, and you really is kind of the director of many different cycles that we have in our lives. So whenever we are sleeping at different hours, for example, people that is working on the night shift, or people that is not sleeping well, having insomnia, these things, the first thing that I would definitely recommend is having a sleep routine. So try to start with something like slowing down, having no blue light screens, for example, your phone, your computer, or TV, or something like that. And that can definitely start giving the kind of a guide to your brain saying it's time to go to sleep. It also helps to have a lighter light, something like that, or you can start to read. It helps to have a warm bath as well, or having a tea for sleeping, something simple. But if you repeat this routine a lot, it will start guiding your brain to say, oh, it's time to sleep. Similarly, if you work in your bedroom, I will actually encourage you not to do it, because it helps for your brain to tell that the bed is usually just for intimacy or just to go to sleep. So that will definitely help the brain to say, this is for sleeping, and it will guide your brain into saying, oh, I'm touching the bed, I'm supposed to go to sleep as well. So small things can really improve that, and it can definitely improve different things. So if you don't know, we have an article in our blog that talks a lot about sleep, but I just want to touch base in one different thing that definitely will guide you in this one, which is, did you know that sleep actually helps determine how much is your gut affecting your microbiome? So as we touch base in the physical part, we know already that the gut microbiome is important for different things, even your mental part. So if you're not sleeping well, you might be indirectly guiding your microbiome to say, you shouldn't be making this neurotransmitter, or they're not as efficiently made. So this might be guiding you into saying, I'm having more anxiety or having more depression towards this, and it might be just be fixed or more, not necessarily fixed, or improved by sleeping on time. So I encourage that. If you want to start a good sleeping schedule, I encourage you that if you cannot go to bed at the same time, please wake up at the same time every day, because that helps more than going to bed at the same time. Moving on into stress. Stress can definitely affect your sleep as well. So I will definitely recommend to have different stress techniques before going to bed if that's something that is for you. However, you can have some different ways of managing your stress throughout the day as well. And stress is never gone. We all have, life happens and then things go in your way all the time for different reasons. We have physical stress, for example, too much sun or too much cold, but we also have mental stress and emotional stress. And those stresses, we need to learn how to manage it, because as long as we live, we will have stress, essentially. So you can use different techniques. I'm just going to recommend one in here. If you need more stress techniques, just ask us and then we will make another video about different managing techniques. Choose your pick, essentially. And in here, we will talk about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, which is quite simple. You can do it anywhere. It will take you 2 minutes. So I will recommend to start with a deep breath. And then the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, it's more about understanding, being more mindful about what's happening to your body in the moment. So with 5 means please kind of name, or at least mentally, if you're somewhere that is too public, name 5 things that you can't see. That is the first thing. And just name them, at least in your mind, or write them, or name them out loud if you're alone. It doesn't matter. Something that really concentrates you into what you can see. The 4 corresponds to 4 things that you can touch. So sometimes you can see something from far away, like a window or a mountain, but you cannot touch it. Now you need to name 4 things that you can touch, something that is close by. For example, right in front of me is my computer, my sweater, something like that. Then number 3 is 3 things that you can hear. That's the third sense. And with these, I want you to really concentrate, because sometimes you're missing different sounds because you're so embedded into, I don't know, screens or your work or something. So you might be missing some sounds. And let's go to number 2. Number 2 is 2 things that you can smell. And like the same, you're trying to guide yourself with the 5 senses that you have. So it's smelling different things. And, sometimes it takes a second to understand what you're smelling. But this really helps you to ground yourself and be there and present. And the last one is 1 thing that you can taste. Usually it's the last thing you ate, or if you're drinking coffee or water or something, but things like that. So if the first time that you try to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique doesn't, you're not able to reach the number that we're asking, well, I encourage you to do it a second time. It takes another 2 minutes, most at top. But it will definitely help you to be present, and your body is going to be more connected towards what it's sensing versus what is going on with your thoughts and with your emotions, and it might help you a lot into de-stressing. So I hope this helps. And lastly, something that also helps to manage stress is meditation. And I put in a different thing because meditation can be different things for different people. Meditation can be like a silent meditation that most of the people know, which is the typical thing that they say, oh, get into a blank space and, put your mind in blank. And just FYI, there's no mind in blank, and it's almost impossible to have no thoughts. If you don't know, we have more than 300,000 thoughts per day. So it might be a little difficult. However, meditation is more about choosing 1 thing that you want to concentrate. And I know a lot of things might come into mind. Oh, what am I going to have dinner today? What am I hearing right now? Etc., etc., etc. But you might be able to concentrate with other things. So choose 1 thought, concentrate on that, and just say stop to the rest of your thoughts. It might be difficult to start. So if you want to start with 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that's okay. Just start increasing the time as long as you're feeling more comfortable, maybe even 5 minutes or 11 minutes. Or you can do even up to an hour. there's no limit for this. It's just as long as you can actually understand that with this, we're trying to go deeper inside, listen to yourself, and I would say that it's more like a trash for your negative thoughts. That's one thing. The other type of meditation that is quite common, and I don't know if you know it, is the active meditation. So active meditation is while you're doing one thing that is more actively moving rather than just sitting and closing your eyes or listening to some mantras and so on, you are actively moving. So for example, an example of active meditation is like people that go to the gym and concentrate in the muscle they're trying to train. So if you're just lifting weights, concentrate in the muscle. It has been also proven scientifically that it helps a lot more to improve, like not to use other muscles, but rather the one that you want to train. But you're actually being mindful of what's happening in your body, and that actually helps you a lot to de-stress. So like I said, these are different techniques, choose your pick. But if you know more or if you want to share like other experiences around, just leave it in the comments. And finally, we're going to talk about the emotional part. With the emotional part, it comes a little bit of the social, and we will see it. But I want to start with celebrating yourself. And celebrating yourself, it's like you have to feel proud of yourself and say it out loud. I am proud of myself. I did this today. Because sometimes we lose sight of what we're walking, and we're always chasing something and a different goal that you want to walk to, but we're not celebrating what we are achieving today. And that is really important because that inspires into gratefulness, into what you have today, which has been also proven that is linked into having a better longevity. So celebrate yourself. Let's say gratitude. If you don't know what is gratitude, you can have like more a gratitude journal. You can write it the first thing in the morning. You can write it at night. When you have to be thankful of different things. We have a roof, or hopefully you have a roof. You have your body that moves. You're listening to me. You have access to information. So being grateful of small things might help a lot in the long term and into your health life. This is just like a random recommendation. If you are in your midlife, just start organizing your will. Your last will, you might feel better because it's another check mark in your life, and you will know that everything is ready, because we don't know when we're gonna die. And this is not to be dramatic, but it's something that it's better to have it than not to have it. But moving on and going back into gratitude. Gratitude also means something like you are enjoying the stage that you are living at. So if you see that going into getting older is something that you drag, something, oh my God, I'm gonna have gray hair, oh my God, I'm gonna have wrinkles, and so on. That actually has been scientifically proven that you actually live less than if you take one day at a time and you enjoy the stage of your life that you're living in. So if you say, I am happy to close this stage of life and I'm getting older, so I'm moving on to my next stage so I can leave different things and newer things, that positive thought and psychology actually helps to live longer. And this study, in the same study, they studied a group that was positive about the new stage of life of getting older versus someone that was more dragging into and being positive about it, and they were having more negative thoughts. So they live a little less longer than the people that had positive thoughts about the new stage. So I would encourage you to be happy about it. And again, we're touching back again the gratitude part. So be grateful about it. About living your life and getting to different stages. Trust me, you will miss the previous one, so just enjoy it every day, because one day is a blessing. And the last thing is about connection, and connection is more about like being social. And I know we have social media to connect with each other, but having a real connection and trusting people and like really connecting with someone, it's something that we all need. We're social beings instead of alone beings, right? So this is the part that we are working more in Renewing. We're trying to connect people. And we say it's more about loneliness, but loneliness is just a lack of real connection. So if you don't have a community, just go to your spiritual community, whichever it is, or just reach out to your old friends or with your family, Or I know it can be difficult to make new friends at this stage. Depends. You can be empty nesters, or you can be and trying to find back your purpose. That's another thing that we work on renewing. But also, if you got a divorce and like it's hard to go through that, and therefore some friends stay with the other spouse and so on and so on, just try to reach out and make a real connection. And this is key, because we have seen that if you feel lonely and chronic loneliness continue within your life, it can be as dangerous as smoking 1 pack of cigarettes a day, and that is a lot. So start reaching out and start having these kind of communities. The people that is here, when we made this meetup in in Scottsdale, they were so happy that they could connect with people that were like-minded, and they were trying to reach goals within their health and trying to learn a little bit more about midlife and how can they improve their health. So these small communities are things that you're really passionate about or you have hobbies on. Please be connected. That's all that we're saying, because it can be so beneficial for you that you have no idea. Even in one of the programs that is one of the shows on Netflix that's called The Blue Zones, one of the key things is that to have a purpose and to be connected, be having the reason to feel like you belong to a community. So we gave you a lot of information, and I understand, but let's just round it and say, what can you do this week? What can you put in your calendar this week so you can walk towards your optimal health? We gave you physical tips. We gave you some emotional tips. We also gave you some mental tips to work on different parts. What do you want to start working on? And this can be just a small step, but even a small step can become into something bigger in the long run. So I encourage you to start with something small. And when you decide, for example, I'm gonna try to sleep better. So I want you to also think into what would be the potential obstacle into going to bed at that time that you want to go. And be as specific as possible, like put a time, how many days per week, how are you going to remember how to do it, and so on. Think about the potential obstacles and what would be your plan B. If we don't think about the plan B, therefore, when, by some particular reason, you're not able to reach your goal because you couldn't do it that day, life happens. What are you going to do then? We're trying to give you here like different tools in your hands so you can start reaching your goals and not feeling frustrated. So think about the potential obstacles and a plan B when you're thinking about your first step. And lastly, something that might be stupid or just really simple is corte. And lastly, something that might seem really small is celebrate yourself. Remember, we talked about in the emotional part about celebrating yourself. So if you do some changes this week and you want to start with your first step, celebrate yourself. It might not be super healthy, for example, eating a chocolate, but if it really excites you, that will definitely encourage you the next day to do that thing that you're proposing yourself. So celebrate yourself with simple things, or just give a hug to your family, or make a really dance, or your happy dance, whatever you want to celebrate with, but just include it in your first step. And once you reach in the first step, I want you to know that we're trying to give you all the tools in here. But if you need more support, please reach out. I am a health coach in here, so I can help you. But I'm going to give you some clues and things that why people usually don't with this new habit or having your new next step. So the first reason is that you don't know where to start. People that doesn't know where to start usually doesn't know where to go. And we already know where we're gonna go because we work on our vision at the beginning of this. But now you know, because you know more. If you watch this whole video, I can tell you, you know more, you know where to start. One simple thing can change everything. The second thing is that you go for big goals. So you want to wake up tomorrow and lose, 30 pounds, and you want to have an optimal health, but just name it. I'm gonna crush your dream, and that's not gonna happen. So if you go for big goals and sometimes you don't reach them, or then what happens is that you start getting frustrated. So just go for small steps. If you watch the image at the right, you see that the person that is going with small steps reaches faster your optimal vision, which is reaching the sky in that case. than the person that has like bigger steps because it has bigger goals. So start small and trust me, you will get there. Trust the process. And speaking of trusting the process, you want immediate results, which is really similar to the big goals. If you want immediate results, you're not going to enjoy the journey. And I know this is the typical thing that people say, but if you trust the process, you know that at some point with small things, you will see the results that you want to reach. So really go for the small thing, trust the process, and you will reach there. Finally, when you cannot do it one day, you just drop the whole thing altogether. And this talks about the thing that I was just telling you about the obstacle. What happens if one obstacle gets in the way and you cannot do the day that you were planning to? And if there's a lot of people that say, oh, today I'm not going to do it, then I'm just going to drop it overall. That's not okay. Just try to be consistent. And I saw the other day on social media, one thing that was the 2-day rule, which is you can stop doing it one day, but if you don't do it 2 days in a row, that's a warning sign. So just be consistent, go back to your habit, and trust me, it will stick back to you. And like I said, if you don't remember your motivation or you don't know exactly where you're walking to, you're gonna lose all the motivation and you're not gonna reach your goal. So this is why at the beginning I was really encouraging you to write your vision. Where do you want to go? What's your optimal health? Because you know, and you will be so motivated to reach there. And you know, you have the tools with your values, with your strength, with this information we're sharing with you today, with the small steps that you want to work on, that trust me, you will get there. So the vision and the reason why I wanted you to write it is because I want you to revise it every time you're losing like motivation or just discipline, like I said in here. If you stick with both of them, you will see, you know what? I want to get there and this is the way. So this will help you to stick with your new habit and your healthy habit. So we talked about what Renew does. This is a luxury wellness program and it's not a retreat. And the reason why it's not a retreat because we want to connect people and we want to connect people with other people that is like-minded, that is working towards their health and so on. So this is a luxury wellness program that happens in Medellin, Colombia. It's all inclusive. It includes transportation, your lodging. You will stay in a room with private jacuzzi. It includes all the amenities. That includes infrared sauna that has different health benefits. We will do some movement and yoga. We will also do some walks and reaching towards connection with nature. So you will be able to reconnect with yourself and listen to yourself as well. We will also have the cold plunge that we discussed today. But like I said, if by your physician is not recommended, you don't have to do it. We have so many different activities throughout the program that we are all designed for you to have an overall wellness. We even have spiritual talk, so you can reconnect with your purpose. If you feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to start, I don't know how to stop being a parent, because we are empty nesters, or I don't know how to find new friends and so on, this is for you. This is designed for different people at different stages in the health journey, and even more if you're starting, if you don't know where to start. We're giving you a lot of different tools and different things to try, not just this talk. We will try it, and then you will be able to hopefully acquire those habits and include it in your life so you can continue with your health journey. Hopefully, this will help you a lot to have longevity, to acquire and obtain your optimal health. So today, because you're watching this, and for the people that attended the meetup, we made an exclusive offer of a $500 discount. If you have any questions, just contact via WhatsApp to the phone number that you're seeing here. Or if you want to know more about us and connect with us, we encourage you to follow us in Instagram, Renewing Life, or Facebook. Just if you want to know just about the program, just scan the QR code that you see in the screen, and we will guide you more. So leave the comments if you have any questions. Let us know if you want to include more things in here, or what kind of topics do you want to touch base on, and we will respond pretty soon. See you soon. Bye.